Hey everybody, it's CoonNeck, SEC West Dudes, the Ole Miss final game of the season preview of the Ole Miss versus Mississippi State rivalry game known as the Egg Bowl 2010. Ole Miss is coming off a big loss to LSU. Most 100%, I'd say 99% of the country thought Ole Miss was going to get blistered in this game, including myself. It didn't happen. LSU, I don't know if they were flat or just Ole Miss gave them all they could handle. End up losing that game 43-36. Couldn't muster anything in the final moments of that game to win it. But, we started to see what the Masoli Experiment was all about. He was very good in that football game on the ground, on his checkoffs from the pass to the run or from the run to the pass. And he got a lot of receivers involved. Lots of young players got involved in that game. And then, of course, the running backs that Ole Miss pretty much relied on, Bolden, Davis, and Scott. They did a great job of breaking that LSU defense early. But just wasn't enough. So Ole Miss coming on a loss. Mississippi State as well, coming off a big loss in overtime at home, double overtime to Arkansas. And if you look at the way both teams played, crucial, I think, mistakes by veteran players pretty much dictated how the outcome of the game was going to play, even though both teams played well enough to win both ball games over Arkansas and LSU in those games. But focus this year is on the Egg Bowl. Houston Nutt looking to get revenge off of last year's loss. Was it 41-27 at Scott Field in Starkville? Something like that. It was embarrassing as an Ole Miss guy. And, maybe the seniors this year have a bad taste in their mouth. Maybe they're going to come out and, want to get a home victory for the crowd, for themselves. Hopefully people like Masoli can come out and keep the momentum from the LSU game going that he had. Played well, couldn't be stopped. Running the ball, passing the balls, and still a bit suspect. But when your receiving core still isn't catching the ball, it's just not helping him at all. Let's see. Mississippi State, they've got lots of key players. Obviously, Ralph is going to start at their quarterback position. He's a very good quarterback. I don't know why everybody is seem to be down on him. Mississippi State had their own experiment this year, and I think they learned quickly that the two quarterback system isn't going to work. Won't work. And Ralph is the guy. He's big. He's I guess you could say reminds you of a Cam Newton just without the speed. But Mississippi State's going to bring lots of talent to this ball game. Lots of talent at receiver. Running back wise, Mississippi State, they're not that deep, but they do have some threats. So Ole Miss defensively is going to have to, come at this game the way that they played LSU. Although this year's reversed, Ole Miss has nothing to play for except pride, and Mississippi State is looking to avoid a 3-loss end to their season, which could land them in a very you say a crappy bowl, but Mississippi State wasn't even supposed to get to a bowl this year, and they were bowl eligible a month ago. So Mississippi State has a lot to play for. If they win this game, they could end up in the Gator Bowl, which is when you think about it, that's probably going to get Dan Mullen the Coach of the Year award. He'll probably get it anyway. It's tough. Maybe Steve Spurrier, though, is Coach of the Year. I don't know. Probably between Mullen and Spurrier. And that's crazy. So, you know, you hope that Mississippi State's going to come in there and maybe the NCAA can drop something down on this Cam Newton thing, and I don't know, make Mississippi State think about the problems they're going to have with the Cam Newton deal and John Bond and what's the guy's name? The guy from Texas, the running back or the player for Mississippi State that supposedly recorded the conversations and that kind of thing. You know, he's quite suspect because I think he was, you know, prohibited by the NFL Players Association as impersonating someone within that group. So this guy's, I don't know if his word is so, you know, that trustworthy. So Mississippi State may not be in as much trouble as we think, but by him representing them, that's a great thing. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the football game. It's going to be a close game. Nobody wants to touch it. It's a 2.5 point, giving the nod to Mississippi State. Ole Miss coming in as the underdog at home. However, you know, I wouldn't take the bet. Wouldn't put any money on this, but you know, if I'm going to bet, you know, a dinner or a case of beer or a weekend at the deer camp in the Delta or something like that, I would definitely put my money or all my eggs in my basket, so to speak, on Ole Miss because they are at home. They have nothing but pride to play for, and Mississippi State may be thinking about, you know, I don't know. Mullen's a good coach. He'll get their heads together, but I think Ole Miss will. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I haven't done it all year, but I'm going to say Ole Miss will prevail in this football game. And even though it's a 2.5 point gap there for State, I'm going to have to say that Ole Miss is going to win this ball game 24-17. They're going to win by a touchdown, and I believe they're going to get that touchdown late in the fourth quarter. It's going to be an exciting end to a football game. I think Masoli is going to do well in this ball game, but I do predict that, you know, there's going to be some craziness at Vaught-Hemingway. I mean, already in Oxford, they've got rumors of a guy dressed in maroon running through their practices with a cowbell and then being chased off the field and getting the team all fired up. But I think that might have been a plant by Houston Nutt and his crew. But whatever it takes, you know, it's rivalry week. It reeks rivalry week. And, you know, I've been talking smack all week to my people I work with, all in fun. I will have to say I do not like Mississippi State fans or the way they support their teams. I like LSU people better than Mississippi State. LSU, you know, they compare it. Who do you hate worse, LSU or State? Well, I hate State. I just can't stand it. You know, my wife went to that school, veterinary medicine, and it was tough, you know, having to live in Starkville. But anyway, that's the way it's going to be. Ole Miss is going to win this football game 24-17. Going to be a lot of trash talking. Maybe we'll see another fight at the beginning of the game like they did in Starkville, 8-10 years ago. I love the rivalry. I hate State. I don't think anything's going to be built on this game by Ole Miss, except if they want to get some in-state recruiting. I know that a couple guys right down the road in Batesville are thinking about going to Mississippi State, but if Ole Miss can pull off a win, that those guys in Batesville, and I guess they'll get on their nice tires that were given to them in the past and drive on over to Oxford. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that's the way it's going to be as far as I can see. Ole Miss will win this game. They'll be the Egg Bowl champions for 2010. And they will increase the record right now to, 60-40-6, and they will be 61-40-6 as they lead the Egg Bowl series. So for SEC West Dudes, I'm CoonNeck, and we will talk to you next baseball season. Got to talk baseball. I don't know about basketball. I don't know if we're doing that well or not. We lost a tough one to Dayton. Sucked. So baseball season coming around. Don't want to hear anything from Kevin Fayard until baseball season starts. Hopefully this will be the year that Ole Miss does get to Omaha. But until then, let's just focus on the Egg Bowl and see if Ole Miss can beat the Dogs of Mississippi State. Howdy, Teddy.